This is video number 6 in the Market Structures series for the IB Economics High Level Only Microeconomics component. This will be part 2 of Monopolistic Competition. So let's do a very quick comparison between perfect competition, monopolistic competition, and monopoly. So this column here will be perfect competition. This column will be monopolistic competition, and this column will be monopoly. Let's have a look at the short run. In the short run, firms in perfect competition may earn abnormal profit, normal profit, or make a loss. The same with monopolistic competition. They may earn abnormal profit, normal profit, or make a loss. The same with monopoly. A monopoly may earn abnormal profit, normal profit, or make a loss. However, in the long run, perfectly competitive firms only earn normal profit, as well as monopolistically competitive firms only earn normal profit. However, the monopolist in a monopoly will keep the abnormal profit that they are earning. So this is one difference. In terms of market power, in perfect competition, firms have zero market power, none whatsoever. Monopolistically competitive firms have very, very little. A monopoly has 100% market power. In terms of allocative and productive efficiency, firms in perfect competition achieve allocative efficiency in both the short run and long run. Productive efficiency is always achieved in the long run, even if it's not achieved in the short run. In monopolistic competition, firms neither achieve allocative or productive efficiency in both the short run nor the long run, as well as the monopolist. In monopoly, allocative and productive efficiency are not achieved neither in the short run nor the long run. In terms of number of producers, in perfect competition, there are a lot of producers. In monopolistic competition, there are a lot of producers. In a monopoly, there's only one. That's why it's called a monopoly. In terms of economies of scale, in perfect competition, no single firm grows big enough because there's such a large number of firms. In monopolistic competition, we may assume that no single firm grows big enough. However, some firms, through advertising and through creating brand loyalty, can increase their market power and maybe achieve economies of scale. In monopoly, however, there's only one firm, so there is potential for it to grow large enough to achieve economies of scale. In terms of ease of entry and exit, in perfect competition, there are no barriers to entry and exit. In monopolistic competition, there are no barriers to entry and exit, but a monopolist creates lots of barriers to entry, and this is to prevent competition from entering the market and taking part of the market share. In terms of the size of the firms, in perfect competition, very, very small firms. Okay, each small is very, very small because there are lots of them. Monopolistic competition, they are usually very small firms. The monopolist, however, is very large, dominates the whole market, and that's why they are a monopolist. In terms of product differentiation, in perfect competition, there is no product differentiation. All products are homogeneous, they're identical. That's one of the assumptions that we make. However, in monopolistic competition, there is lots of product differentiation, which gives each firm some degree of monopoly power. And that's a difference when compared to perfect competition. In a monopoly, there's only one producer, so product differentiation is not very relevant. You'll see that monopolistic competition shares some similarities with perfect competition and some similarities with monopoly. It's sort of somewhere in the middle. It draws on features from both market structures. It's also very important to remember that in monopolistic competition and oligopoly especially, so when we talk about oligopoly as a market structure and monopolistic competition as a market structure, there are two types of competition between firms. Firms can compete on price, so there's price competition. This is competing on the basis of price, trying to undercut competitors' prices to gain more market share. It's when you try and lower your price basically to steal customers from your competitors. Or there can be non-price competition, and usually this plays a very important role in monopolistic competition and oligopolies. Non-price competition means competing on the basis of features of the product, whether the product is a good or service, features other than the price of the product. What are some examples of non-price competition? Well, advertising is an example of non-price competition. Advertising attracts, if it's successful, attracts more customers. Packaging, how you package your product contributes to your non-price competition. Your product development, having certain features in the product that make your product unique, like when Apple released the first smartphone, for example, or imagine the first phone that had a camera, that was very unique. Competing in terms of quality of service, really making your product stand out in terms of quality. Competing by branding, creating a brand which creates customer loyalty, and competing in terms of promotions like buy one get one free, or having after sales service, and so on. So all these sorts of promotions, all of these are examples of non-price competition, or other ways that firms compete other than price.